few days since I looked at this, so I have to refill your eyes myself. Or Karen, if you wanted to walk us through it at all, be happy to take the help.
We had a copy.
Okay, thank you. Time frame commitments. Oh, thank you. All right. Well, this sure looks more familiar. Okay, well, it was a pretty low month for expenses last month, right? So we the combined income balances for TIP 1 and 2 is still in the $459,000 range, $459,907 and 26 cents. For income, I should say, expenses at $2,350 for an ending balance of $883,907 and 38. My calculation of our spending to date versus our discretionary budget of 194,000 leaves us at about 115,000 left in the bank for considerations through the balance of the year. The rest of the money is committed. And that discretionary balance, as you'll recall, is the number that will keep us even year over year for the beginning of the year balance and end of the year balances. Okay. So is there any discussion around the financials as of June month end for the CRC? I'll had an opportunity to look at it. Any questions for Karen? In that case, I'll entertain a motion to approve the June 30th financials.
I'll make motion to approve the June financials.
All right, thank you, Sally. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, seconded by Ms. Monroe. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, we've got financials now for the record. Thank you. All right. Old business, the Dunes update. This is going to be very quick unless there's other updates. The only update I have is that the bonds for the project are set to close on the 30th of this month. That is the last step and in the process for our organization, at least. The paperwork is been put together. I've seen the first draft of it. There's another draft coming before we're done, but the final numbers have been put together and are consistent with what we've discussed all along. There's no significant changes to advise you of. And that's my Dunes updated. If there's any questions. Usually we open this up to the audience to any comments, questions, old news, nothing to talk about anymore. Okay, great. Let's see. Approval of claims, Karen. What have we got to talk about there? I'm afraid I didn't get much of a look at them.
It's got visitor center, fire group is on there.
The lakes.
Advertising for visitor center as well. Lakes, yeah.
Looks like, right, okay. I see we have payment on the stormwater bond, $77,268. The plein air expenses that we previously had approved, right? That now the invoices come through. Same with the Lakes magazine allocation, Lakefest programs. That was the printing. We approved that as well. That came through at the $6,350. So I believe that's everything. Okay. Are there any questions on the claims?
No.
You all look to be in line with what we're supposed to be spending our money on. So I'm going to entertain a motion to approve claims.
So moved.
Okay. Moved
I'll
by
second it.
Monroe, seconded by Sally. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, we've got claims approved. Train depot repairs. This also will go relatively quickly. You'll recall at our last meeting, we were graced by the presence of Mike Overmeyer and Annette Osborne, who indicated there's a problem with the roof at the train depot, and that while they had fixed the leak temporarily, that there was a need for long-term repairs. We said we'd take a look at it to see if it fit within the facade grant program. And in addition to thanking them for all they do for the community, we said we'd see what we could do to help. And as it turns out, our research that Karen so kindly did for us brought back an actual court case where a redevelopment commission had hoped to spend money on maintenance related item on a building that the town owned. And the court squarely said, nope, can't do that. That is not permissible within the statute. So I've circled back with the Lions Club with Annette and let her know that unfortunately we're unable to provide any assistance in this case. That's my update on the train depot repairs. Is there any question or comment about that? Zooming right along, let's get to new business. We may be in record territory here. Well, let's see how long, Amber, take all the time you
Yeah,
need,
all
please.
right. Next hour's mine, right?
Yeah,
Sorry, you guys, I don't normally wear sunglasses inside. I have 4 ulcers on my left eye, so I'm battling through that right now. So I'm very sensitive to light, so I promise I don't normally do that.
We know the real reason.
So I don't know, anybody else get one of these or want to see them or it's. All right. Okay. So this is the product of that, which you guys talked about. Really beautiful Lakefest programs that Andrea was able to put together. Hopefully you were able to get out to Lakefest this past weekend. It was a huge success. Really, this is like one of the most professional Lakefest programs I've ever seen. She did a great job. She knocked it out of the park. Really sticking with that 80s theme. So this year was the 40th annual Lakefest. So we went ahead and decided to make this year's theme Igniting the Memories, honoring the first Lakefest. So that's where the 80s theme comes into play. We were very fortunate to have like the best weather ever, which we're not always lucky with over festival weekends. I know Andrea was stoked about it. I'll go ahead and highlight some just major things that went on. We had a pretty good number for our 5K Waves of Freedom run, just shy of 300 participants. So that was really exciting. I got to run in it. It was a lot of fun. Car show, we had a really big turnout to the point we couldn't fit them in the parking lot. So that turned out really well, about right where we anticipated. We were on the hopeful side and things turned out that way. What else? The Culver PTO was a huge participant. They did an amazing job. They reintroduced the kids zone this year. Saw a ton of kids down there enjoying everything that the PTO had to offer for the kids zone. Parade, we had about, I believe it was 30 participants or floats in the parade. So we were really excited to see everybody get out there and participate in the parade, since that's pretty much a highlight. And then, of course, the fireworks show was a success. Other than that, we, as part of, outside of just funding for event specific, the Cowell Redevelopment Commission also committed some funds for photography, professional photography over the weekend, which is my end of things. Very grateful to have photography at these events, as anytime we go to promote them, we have nothing to work with. So this year has been incredible to be able to work off of something. I'm highlighting one of those photos here, really special memory caught. The man on the right, the far right, that's Roy Shepard. He was the very first Lakefest president. We got to honor him at the parade. Unfortunately, very sadly, Roy passed away on Saturday.
Oh.
Following this, this was the last photograph of Roy. So his family was so excited to receive this photo. Just one thing I really wanted to highlight, essentially how we're able to capture things that we otherwise really wouldn't be able to. So we've been working really closely with the family since, just working on some way we can find a way to honor Roy. Other than that, these are just some images captured over the festival. That's a favorite right there with the over the weekend. Miss Max, that all went really smoothly as well. I really want to see there's a really cool firework one in here somewhere, but an image I certainly wouldn't be able to take, but we got some of it posted on social media already.
Oh, that's killer.
Personal favorite.
Wow.
Yeah, really cool. So I think we're just excited to be able to work with professional images when we are designing like marketing materials. We're so happy to have Mo joining us at these events. He was at Winterfest, he did Lakefest, he'll be joining us for Culver Paint Out, Fall Fest, and Culver Holiday Weekend. So yeah, we're excited to have him giving us resources to work with. But yeah, just really excited about how the weekend went. We have our Lakefest post-mortem meeting scheduled already. That'll be a week from today. We're meeting again with all the volunteers and staff members of the visitor center and gonna hash out what went well, what we can work on, so and start preparing for 2025. So other than that, we're prepping for Culver Paint Out, of course, and submitting the ads for that. Meeting as a committee per usual and getting ready to get that one started in September. So just wanted to say thanks CRC for all your support along the way. It's really nice to be able to be professional while conducting these events, and we wouldn't be able to do it without that contribution. So thank you so much.
Cool pamphlets.
Yeah, she knocked it out of the
I
park.
see Roy Shepherd's mentioned in comment, one of the founders of Lakefest.
Yeah, yeah. Really special to have him there over the weekend, and his family was just happy that, you know, we got to spend his last moments honored and happy. If nobody has any other questions about these particular items, the only other visitor center update, I will be resigning here, and this will probably be my last time presenting to you all as executive director of the visitor center. We're working diligently to get myself replaced. We've been conducting interviews, receiving applicants, all that good stuff. Karen's been part of that interview process, so we appreciate your time and commitment to that. So yeah, hopefully we can find the right person to step in and keep things rolling.
To say we're going to miss you, it's such an understatement.
That's why she really wore the sunglasses.
As I start tearing up, I feel like look at you.
You know, you created a standard of excellence that's going to really be difficult to, you know, for others to achieve, you know, following you. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Marie. Thank you.
Definitely set the bar high.
Thank you. I've enjoyed it a lot.
We're gonna try to keep her on the board though. So
Yeah,
that
don't worry, I'm not.
her influence is still impacted.
I'm tearing up. I'm not even.
You can run, but you can't. Huh?
Yeah, something
So-
like that, so, yeah, I'm excited to still be involved in some shape or form.
But we'll have to find a way to properly thank you
Yeah.
for your contributions.
Not until she trains the person.
Yeah, right. We're holding out, you know. Oh, great.
Appreciate it.
On that, I was one of the traffic cops for the run,
Yeah,
and it sure seemed like there was a lot more people than
yeah,
previous years.
we almost beat the 4th of July one, but I
Wow.
think I think that, I mean, that alone speaks, I mean, considering how many people come to Culver for the 4th of July. I think the 4th of July one was like somewhere between 315, 320. So we were just shy of 300. It was like 295 or something like that. So I don't want to misspeak, but I know we were just shy of 300. So
What feedback did you get from the vendors?
we had been, actually, they did really well, especially our food vendors. They did really well. We had vendors actually paying Andrea for 2025 because they don't want to miss their spot. So for 2025. So Andrea went around and talked to each of the vendors afterward, which is why they're like we won't be here next year. We had a few sell out even. So Andrea said, you know, if she surveyed them, they're all going to return, and if they do, like, we just have to fill 2 other spots. So I don't know so much from the craft vendor side of things. I think we'll learn a lot more at the board meeting.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So, but I do know that about the food vendors.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
It's good.
Anything else for Amber? Thanks for taking the time out to bring us up to date. Really appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Okay, so if I can find my agenda again, tell you what's next. How do I lose an agenda? I haven't moved.
You might have flipped it.
You wrote notes on it.
Oh,
Saw her, I just.
dangerous. All right. Public input. Oh, sure, please.
Metrics, just Gary Chesterton, 527.
Thanks, Karen.
Other metrics for the Lake Fest as far as what it brings to the community financially.
Can I ask Amber to
Yeah.
help us try to feel that?
The one thing that I do know of is, so one thing that Andrea really tries to implement is making sure that we have like organizations involved, whether it be like nonprofits, specifically the community school. Like so many different teams from the community school get involved, and they get to fundraise that way. So I know that's one really big contribution, outside of like exact numbers, you know, that's hard to measure. And in terms of like the shops and restaurants, not sure those specific numbers, but the one thing I do know is a lot of our organizations and local youth groups get involved and are able to get a kickback that way financially.
So when you do your postmortem, do you involve the community merchants to get feedback from them as to how their business went?
We don't, but I can certainly recommend it to Andrea.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see and to monopolize on the viability of this event
Right.
to the larger community.
For sure. I do know Andrea talks to a lot of the vendors, like the merchants prior to Lakefest. That's like one thing that she hits on a lot, because a lot of it does affect them, whether that be parade route, you know, parking, all that sort of stuff. But I can recommend, you know, we include them a lot more in that call.
Yes, and just as a personal note, the dichotomy between going down Lakeshore Drive and making a left on Main is like night and day. It would be awesome to be able to include a stretch of Main in this
Right.
festivity.
Yeah.
I mean, they're part of the community, but I think they sort of miss out on mainstream
For sure.
population.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's possible to do a parade route shift or
Mhm.
addition.
Yeah, it does start on Main Street,
Right.
so they draw a crowd that way. But yeah, like ending or right. Yeah. I can certainly bring it up to her.
I just hate to leave that part of the community out when they're sort of shut out anyway.
Right.
So, thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Beautiful event.
Yeah.
I went 3 times.
Good. Thanks for showing up.
It's a great question on the metrics. Thank you. Do you scrape the, website? Are you able to get anything off of like the visitors website on how many hits for the?
I could for the Find Culver page. I could pull that up very easily. I don't know what the analytics look like for the Lakefest page. I'm sure they exist, and I can ask Andrea what that looks like, or if I don't even know what she completely controls the Lakefest website, so I can see if there's any analytics involved in that one.
Or trends, or, yeah,
Right, searches and
terrific.
The new tourism board might reach out to you about advertising Culver events during Blueberry Fest. They're paying for this big,
Yeah, the screen. big
Yeah.
puck, Yeah,
Oh,
a
cool.
little, kinda, the
I,
Brian, so.
Mayor
Brian.
Berger was talking to me about it yesterday.
Yeah, it
He said
sounds
they're all pretty excited.
Such a great
to put
idea.
Different things on it.
Yeah, and it can go through the parade, they said, which is pretty neat. It's a great idea.
So Brian was here
He worked in the,
working the 50-50 raffle at,
Yeah.
throughout the event, yeah.
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 You guys were buzzing.
I wonder how he
We-
did.
I know I did 900 and there was,
Wow.
someone else that did 700 the day before. I don't know how much Brian and Linda did on their own, but I think it was around 2,000 that we probably,
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
between all,
He had said he was trying to get to 2.
yeah.
He said
So
he was close.
That's great.
How about that for the chair of the tourism operation? What a difference.
Show
huh?
up at
My
an event.
gosh.
yeah,
All
Linda
right.
was there too.
I didn't see her.
She's everywhere.
Yeah.
She was there Saturday night when they.
Terrific. All right. Anything else from the public? Yes, please.
Craig, 522 South Main. Just have 2 questions. What is the name of the court case that Karen found that allows you not to contribute to the Lions Club roof?
Yeah.
And if that is a town building, is the clock on Main Street also a town situation? That the clock doesn't work, who takes care
It's
of
in that park, in the Heritage Park.
I can tell Bob is working on getting the clock fixed. It's been taking some time. That is a property of the town. I'm happy to email you. I contacted Becca McQuaig, who is the legislative attorney for Accelerate Indiana Municipalities with AIM, and she also serves on the Redevelopment Association with Indiana. And I asked her the question of, is this proper?
Yeah.
For us to do so, because there are limitations on redevelopment funds, and I don't want to put us into a situation where it's conflicting. She did find the court case. I'm happy to email it to you. I don't have it at my fingertips right now.
My question is, does that now put pressure on the next meeting to come up with money for a town building for the Lions Club? Because the town council meeting is next, they're on the agenda.
They are.
You had to kindly go back to them and say, hey, we can't.
I think they're well aware.
No, I understand. I'm a member.
Oh,
I'm asking.
no, I mean, the town council's well aware.
Yeah, it came to the council at the last
Yeah, it
meeting.
came at the last meeting.
Yeah.
I'm just curious. I mean, it just seems odd. I understand why you can't, but it seems odd that the town can't pay for 100% of that roof.
Unless it's in the MOU.
And do you guys have any influence on what the council does?
My guess is because it's not a commercial business and it's not really related to community safety or like all the things that we're allowed to pay for. I could see why it wouldn't qualify.
Sure, understood. No qualms.
Just as a lot of things don't really qualify for CRC funding.
Right.
And it's weird because CRC is even can be more flexible than the town can in certain things.
Right.
Like buying a business and, not having to, you don't have as strict, as restrictions are on the town of buying something. But kind of goes both ways, I guess. I can see why it wouldn't qualify for CRC funding.
Mhm.
Oddly, we could probably, if they wanted to put up their own building or some other capital project, if you could prove it benefited the TIF area or, safety or whatever, community safety, health and wellness, all those sorts of things.
We could buy it. We just can't fix
And
it.
a big part of it is very
Understand
likely
that.
our building, the state also doesn't allow like most of the grants that you can get through the Fed or the state, you cannot use on a municipal building. So like,
Unless it's historical. So I'm wondering if it would fall under historical.
yeah, like federal dollars in general, you can't use. And so like there have been towns and cities that'll put up a municipal building but they put a community center inside the building. And they want to put federal grant dollars toward that building. So they will make you separate out the square footage for the part that's the community center they can pay for, but nothing that has a municipal office in it, your clerk's office, your fire department, like all those office spaces you can't use those dollars for.
And I'll let the town council speak for themselves on the ability to fund it. Any other public comment? Yeah.
History question. I thought I recalled that the CRC helped with like the water tower, with the maintenance on the water tower and stuff. So it's a weird, I'm curious.
The water tower benefits the entire community and the tip area.
But it's owned by the town. So
Doesn't matter.
it seems like it's another, hopefully.
So is a lot of the utility infrastructure that CRCs can put in. I mean, we technically
That we're talking about.
own all those pipes and they allow CRC money to go toward infrastructure.
Yeah, it's pretty broad for infrastructure, what we can do.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, but they have the rules.
Yeah,
Yeah. They make the rules, we follow them.
I suspect if the school owned that building and not us, that it would be a whole different issue. Because
It'd be what?
if the school owned that building instead of us, we probably could have, because we could
Because you
do
make the
capital
facade, yeah.
improvement projects on a school through CRC money.
Yeah.
Those are allowable.
Which is how we're doing the baseball parts and all that.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
Well, I guess we should be thankful Karen was able to find that because nobody had any legal issues in a town this size.
Yeah.
And that was a saving, so thanks, Karen.
somebody would have found it for us.
Might have been too late.
Too late, right? Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna go to member input then. Erica, what do you have for us? Any news?
Nothing groundbreaking. Meeting. Besides that.
I feel like we're losing too many people in this room.
These young people that think they can move up.
Or move outside the town boundaries.
The nerve, right?
Yeah.
So
Take a lot of
Erica is,
But she did sign in the selling of her house that they have to be on the CRCs, or at least attend meetings.
so we'd love to have you if you could only continue to be eligible, but unfortunately that's not the case.
She could
So,
take my seat.
yeah, actually she could,
She could
right?
take my seat,
She
yes.
could. So maybe we won't lose you long term. We'll see. But,
You would
Do what she hustled.
but thank you so much for your
The contract
contribution.
here for me too, so.
It's been terrific working with you. We'll miss you.
I've enjoyed it.
And as the others have said, thank you.
Yes.
And you have grandkids. We appreciate both of you.
Ginny, do you have anything?
Waiting
for-
for the
I-
public input.
I don't have anything new. I think the Brian Teal thing already came up. Reaching out to Amber. I'm excited that they're up and running. See how that impacts in the budget next year.
Sally, anything?
Nothing other than thanking for Erica for her time and efforts.
Okay.
I got a couple ideas of shoulders.
Successors?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll see what I can do.
Good,
Awesome.
please.
Don't keep it to
And-
yourself.
Karen,
No, I won't.
we'll send out the call, I guess, to the community for
Yeah.
the vacancy,
The councilors,
if we could do that.
the council take the, dictate what the next steps are.
I see. All right. You'll leave it in the council's good hands then. All right, great. I have nothing. So,
Is it appointed by the council?
I need to see which.
Big tower. All is good.
anything, Karen?
No, all's good. School starts on August 14th, so we are 3 weeks out. Still hiring.
Still retired,
Still retired.
still committed.
Yeah.